Mark, why is IGPA interested in having a 50-50 by 2030 foundation?
Well, the Institute for Governance and Policy Analysis is dedicated to providing education and research on democratic governance. And we believe that gender equality is the key measure of the quality of democratic life in any liberal democracy. In fact, our view would be that democratic rights are women's rights and women's rights are democratic rights. And what we've observed from our research, because much of our research focuses on barriers to social and economic political participation, is that the Australian scorecard on these issues really is very concerning. So we're looking to generate high quality research and public engagement to improve the quality of social, economic and political participation using gender as a lens.
You've done already quite a bit of work that has touched on this area, work that has a gender lens over it. What have you found so far that has been so concerning to you?
Well, and look, we should always say that everything is relative across sectors, but what remains particularly concerning in the public sector is that there's a gender equality gap in relation to pay, in relation to the segregation of employment. What I mean by that is that women tend to be concentrated in particular portfolios of government. And this is concerning because obviously we should be benefiting from the diverse experiences that women bring to decision making and problem solving of various kinds. There's a high concentration of men in contrast to women in full-time work. We have this continual problem of women breaking the glass ceiling in terms of leadership. There's the boards issue as well, public sector boards issue, where still women are underrepresented. But actually, for us, probably most concerning would be around what I term capability development. In other words, the support that's provided for women from the time that they enter the public service and as they progress through their careers. Our view basically is that something's getting in the way there. Women aren't getting the same patronage and support that their male contemporaries are being afforded.
The report that you did, the Not Yet 50-50 report, which gained quite a bit of traction, has had a significant impact. What surprised you most about the findings there?
Well, as you might know, we deliver a very significant number of graduate programs for the Australian Public Service. And what we found with those graduate programs is that women excel in those programs. And then something seems to happen over the next 10 years because in terms of academic achievement, they really dominate the outcomes from those programs. So something's happening whereby 10 years later, a large majority of women are far less confident than they were when they entered the public service. Again, we think that this is probably about the mentoring and patronage and support that they receive, that male managers are very reticent to give the same attention to their women colleagues than they do to their male colleagues, and there may be a whole range of reasons for that. We call this unconscious bias. I think that's a problematic term in my view, because I think that a lot of this is far more conscious than people think.
Lastly, Mark, why a foundation such as this focusing on 2030, a 50-50 leadership by 2030? Why now?
Why now? Well, the first thing that I would say, and I think this is a really important observation, is that social equality, there's no end point to social equality. This is an ongoing struggle. So in a sense, although we're raising the hope that we realise this target by 2030, actually it's a clarion call to say that gender equality will be a continuing struggle. They will just be different challenges at different moments in time. So what we're using this for is basically to harness the energies of progressive groups and organisations and academics to actually reach this target, but to bear in mind that this will be a perennial ongoing challenge.